Everybody and their dog wants to make 10K a month as an email copywriter. But if you want to beat the competition and land some clients, you need to build up the right skills. Why listen to me? I've been an email copywriter for 5 years. I've generated $1 million in email revenue for clients. Here are 3 tips you need to follow to crush it as an email copywriter in 2024. Number 1, study storytelling. Let me tell you a story. How do you feel when you hear those 6 words? Let me tell you a story. Those 6 words are like magic. Why? Because everyone loves a story. It's the reason we can binge watch 4 episodes of a random Netflix show on a random Tuesday night. It's the reason the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy has generated $2.9 billion in revenue. It's why J.K. Rowling has a $1 billion net worth. It's also the reason why some of the top copywriters in the world, like Gary Halbert, Eugene Schwartz, and David Ogilvy, made hundreds of millions and sometimes billions as copywriters. They all mastered storytelling. You can use storytelling to hook people in. You can use it to slide people down the slippery slope. You can use it to turn a hard no into an absolute yes when it comes time to buy. Here are a few ways you can integrate storytelling into your copy to sell more. Number 1, use the founder story. So do emails talk about the founders, their own personal transformation story as it relates to the product or service that they offer. So any kind of like coaching business, this is perfect for courses, like anything where the product was created in response to the founder's problem in their life, and they found out the solution and they solved it. So if they were ever in the shoes of their ideal customer in any way, and that's how their business was started, use that as much as you can, anywhere, emails, ads, like social copy, like anything, but particularly email. You can use storytelling so good. Number 2, customer or client stories. So talk about transformation stories. If it's a fitness coach you're working with, talk about how Bob lost 66 pounds in 60 days. Like share stories as much, and use that as the headline. Use that as your subject line. Here's how Bob lost 66 pounds in 60 days. What? Like, that's ridiculous. People love a story, and the more you can share stories of your customers, not only does it reel people in and get people reading your emails all the way to the end, but it is the number 1 form of social proof. If you can show off client testimonials where they received the transformation that your audience wants with your product or service, you'll sell so much of that. And there's a third one you can use. So it's the me, them, you framework. I don't know if this is an actual framework or maybe I just made it up. I'm not sure, but it works really well. So the me, them, you framework combines the founder story and the customer story. So in one email, here's what you do. Step 1, you say, I had problem. Then I discovered and created product. After that, I outcome. Now others have outcome. You can have the same outcome. So it goes into the founder story. I was dealing with this problem. Let's just say, we'll just give an example of fitness. So I remember the day I was walking to the beach on this like 30 degrees summer day, and I went to the beach and walked down on the sand and took off my shirt and looked around and realized everybody was staring at me. And I thought there was a spider on my back or something, until I realized when I looked down at my huge gut, I had realized I'd gained like 20 pounds in the past year. I'd let myself go. I just remember the sinking feeling of embarrassment and shame and all these things that I felt. And I sheepishly put my shirt back on and sat down and never went in the water once that day. The first time I had ever gone to the lake and never went in the water. Why? Because I was so ashamed and embarrassed. So then from that moment on, I realized like I need to get back in shape. I'm 30, 40 years old, and I need to get back in shape like I was when I was in my 20s. So I researched and bought all these things and invested and blah, blah, and took all these trainings and combined. And from learning this, and this, I created this super program and ended up losing like 30 pounds in 30 days. And like, that's when I was realizing and then all of a sudden I was back, healthier and more fit than I was in my 20s, XYZ. Next thing you know, like everybody starts asking me like, how do you do it? Oh my goodness. Now people weren't looking at me at the beach because of my big gut. They were looking at me because of my abs and my arms and all these things. And like people started asking me, how'd you do this? So I started telling them and they started paying me money to coach them, blah, blah. And now I created this program. And Bob was my first friend who asked me how to do it. So I took Bob through the program and he ended up losing 20 pounds in 20 days. And, he was embarrassed and ashamed at how much he had gained weight since he had became a dad and all these things and let himself go. But now he's experiencing XYZ. By the way, you can have the same outcome. If you're dealing with like being overweight or XYZ and these problems and feeling shame from this, like you can get set free. You can be transformed. Like you can have the dream body. You can be even more in shape than you were even in your 20s. Book a free consultation now. So that is like a big wild example of like how you can use the me, them, you. So I had a problem that I discovered and created this product. After that, I had this outcome. Now others have the same outcome and you can have the same outcome. So your story, client stories where it's also worked on them, and bring it back to you where you actually start talking directly to the audience and saying, you can have the same thing that I got, and they got. So tons of social proof in this, tons of credibility, tons of proof and trust with this kind of storytelling framework. Use that in an email. Me, them, you works like a charm. So storytelling. Number 2, master the welcome email series. Do you want to know the number one most important email you could possibly send? A welcome email. Want to know what business owners usually screw up? Their welcome email. So if you can master the welcome email, you'll have an offer right out of the gate for business owners. Also, here's another thing about the welcome email. Most business owners, if they are sending one, they only send one. This is a huge missed opportunity. Why? Because a welcome email has the highest open rate of any email on average. 63.91% average open rate for welcome emails across the board from GetResponse. That data. The vast majority of your new subscribers will read this one email, and after that, it starts dropping. This means first impressions count more than anything with that first welcome email. That welcome email series introduces you, your brand, and your products to your audience. Most of all, it's a way to build a relationship with your audience and get them hooked on your emails. So if you're just sending one, you're just giving people one touch point. The average person buys after like 6 to 8 touch points, marketing messages, communications with a brand. So if you're just relying on social media where algorithms may or may not show your posts, and you have like one email that you send out every few weeks and maybe one welcome email, it might be like 4 to 6 to 8 weeks till you actually get those touch points in to make a sale. But if you have a welcome email series that goes out every day for like 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, whatever, you're forcing touch points quicker and quicker. So instead of having to wait 2 months to build the trust and relationship with an audience to get a customer, you could do this in 1 week. You can convert people quicker. Why? Because you're just building a bigger relationship. You're putting more into the relationship quicker. And these are hot leads. People who come in new, they are the most interested people. So go talk to them. I once wrote a 12 email welcome series for a client. People probably think I'm nuts for saying this. 12 emails? Yeah, 12 days in a row. Boom, 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 all the way to 12. Back to back every single day. Guess what? It ended up generating over $300,000 for a client over about 3 years. $300,000 for those emails. And you know what? Most people's responses, most customer responses, besides the revenue, most of the replies we got through email were heartfelt replies. More than anything was from that series of people saying how much and I didn't just write a random series about stuff. I incorporated storytelling. Remember tip number 1? I incorporated storytelling throughout the whole thing. The founder story, the founder story was like 2-3 emails alone. The customer stories were another maybe 2 emails. And then it was beyond that, giving lead magnets and free resources and stuff. So here's a few tips to master a welcome email series. Introduce yourself immediately. So instead of saying, hi, this is big brand, whatever, big business, and like, here's our products and services. No, people want to read emails from people. So introduce yourself, introduce the owner, the founder, whoever, immediately. Hi, welcome to whatever company. My name is so-and-so. Like, it's glad to have you here. Like, here's what you should expect from reading the email. So introduce the person, have the emails come from a person, sender name is a person, from name is a person. It's from people. People read emails from people, not from businesses. So make it from a person. Tell your subscribers the benefit of reading each email. I see this all the time. People are like, oh, thanks for joining my welcome, my email list, like blah, blah, buy my products. Like you need to also tell people why they should read the email next time. So why they should keep reading the emails. It's super important. Also, tell them how often they should expect to receive emails. If you're going to email every day, tell them. If you're going to email once a week, tell them. Like if you have that, it's just to set the right expectations. People, if they see it's a daily email, they might unsubscribe immediately, and that's totally fine. But tell them right up front. Give them a call to action in every single email. It doesn't have to be a product too. You don't have to be selling in every single email necessarily, but always give some kind of call to action. Make your emails actionable. The call to action could be as simple as read our whole story in our About page. Check out this blog post to learn more about how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Check out this video we created. Check out this podcast. Here's a free lead magnet. Here's a free guide. Take this thing. Check out this person. Buy our product. Buy our services. Book a free consultation call. Check out more information here on our sales page. Like, it can even be like, hey, go do 20 push-ups a day. That's your challenge. Like, give someone a challenge. Whatever you do, always put a call to action in every single email. I don't have it written here, but always try to put a link in the email as well, especially if you're selling products. If it's not just like coaching, but you're also selling products where someone can buy them on a page, a product page, e-commerce, anything to do with that, digital products, put a link in every email as well. So people are used to clicking on links in every email. So when you do have an offer, they click the link to your product page. Another thing, send a minimum of 3 emails in a welcome series. I still think 3 is too low. That's just the bare minimum. Ideally, you're sending 5+. And there's lots of different emails you can do in that welcome series. You can do story-based emails. Right here, you can do a customer client transformation story in a full email. You could have a practical in-depth how-to. You could give a free resource in one. There's lots you can do with the welcome series. You could have an offer just as like the final email in the series. The whole email is an offer, but do at least 3. I would recommend 5 though, but minimum 3. Use a PS at the end of each email, hinting at the next one in the series. So this is an automated series. You already know what each email is. Use a PS to build curiosity and talk about the benefit of the next email to hook them in. Create an open loop, just like TV series used to do back in the day when they'd end their show. If you guys remember, if you guys are old enough to watch TV as a kid, where they'd have like, the show's only on at this time, so like tune in next week where you're going to see the show Lost was really good at this, where they hint at like the next episode and they give you like a flash of like drama and all these things. That's like, oh my goodness, I have to know what happens. Open loops, use that as a PS at the end of each email, hinting at what the benefit is in the coming email. For instance, if it's fitness, like in the next email, you're going to learn how I lost like the exact 3 tips that I needed to learn how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days by only working out for 10 minutes a day. Something juicy like that, where you're hinting at a benefit to read the next email. Or you can use storytelling, like learn what the one thing I had to overcome in my personal life that like allowed me to like, if it's relationships, like be able to like make myself available to be able to find a partner who like could love me or whatever, if it's like a relationship niche. Anyways, always use a PS, always hint at the next email in a welcome email series. We did those 2, founder story, customer story. Incorporate free value, lead magnets, practical tips throughout the series. Don't just give fluff, like actually give people gold with your emails. Practical information that's going to help them. And add an offer in the final email somewhere. You could do an offer earlier on if you want, but for sure in the final email of the series, make some kind of offer. It could be to book a free call. It could be to check out a product. It could be like a limited time offer, something like that. Put it in there at the end. Knowing how to write a welcome email series will give you an immediate offer you can pitch a client with. So rather than just be like, I'm an email copywriter, let me write your emails. Say, hey, like I noticed you only have 1 email in your welcome email series, and it could actually use some work because of XYZ. Like, let's write you a full welcome series to start nurturing people, to start getting that 36-to-1 ROI that email is, which is insane. ROI of email is 36-to-1. Best of any marketing channel. So let's write you a full welcome series. It's this much. I can write it for you. Master the most important email. know how to write a full series. You can make plenty of cash with them. Number 3, so underlooked. Okay, so what if you're trying to become a 5 to 10K a month email copywriter? One of the most overlooked aspects of building up your business, software. Knowing how to use email software is going to help you a ton. If you try to pitch someone and they ask you about your experience with ConvertKit or Klaviyo or Beehive, you should have an answer. Why? Because a lot of email clients you'll sign won't just want you to write the email copy in a Google Doc and send it to them. A lot of them will also want you to be the one to implement it in their software. So that means you need to familiarize yourself with email software. Here are 3 popular platforms: ConvertKit or Beehive for most things. I would say if you're going to learn anything, learn ConvertKit or Beehive. If you're going to dive into e-commerce specifically, 100% Klaviyo, nothing else, just Klaviyo. So if you aren't sure how to use one and you're like, well, I don't know, like, how can I learn the software unless I have a client? Start your own newsletter. If you're an email copywriter, you should already have your own newsletter just for the sheer like practice of being able to be the person who runs an email and writes emails and is familiarized with the whole process. Get familiar with an email tool. Every email platform will have tutorials you can follow to learn the ins and outs of. Before I landed my first e-commerce email copywriting client, I was so scared because I was like, I don't even know how to do that. Like, I don't know the software. What if they ask me how to do this? So what did I do? I was like, how can I do this? I don't have a client. I created my own Shopify store. I wasn't doing it for the purposes of building a brand at that point. I created a Shopify store with a fake product and business just so I could connect a Klaviyo account, which is the top e-commerce email software. And so I could start creating emails so I could get familiar with the software itself. Just do whatever you can to get knowledge of the software. Go through tutorials, YouTube, like Klaviyo. All these things have tutorials you can use to learn how to actually use the software. You'll learn so much more. By learning the basics of an email tool, you'll not only learn the practical knowledge, which you can use to juice up your email copy offer, but you'll also gain a ton of confidence that you could take with you on a call with a potential client. So learn the email software. So just to recap, study storytelling. Of any tool you could have as a writer, whether you're a copywriter, content writer, ghostwriter, whatever, to know how to tell a story is so beneficial. So beneficial. It cannot be overstated. Storytelling. I would say it's one of the pillars and one of the keys to why I've been able to, do this full time and make 6 figures as a writer for the past 5 years. Is like I studied storytelling and I took email courses that were specifically focused on storytelling, and they all help. They all helped a ton. So study storytelling, incorporate it. You will be more persuasive. You'll sell more. Your emails will be more engaging, and you'll be able to nurture your audience and ultimately make more money. Number 2, master the welcome email series. The number 1 email, 69% average open rate for a welcome email. Master the welcome email and master a whole series. Know how to write a welcome sequence. If you know how to do that, you have an immediate juicy opportunity that I'm seeing so many brands do not have a welcome email. And if they do, it sucks. And if they do have one welcome email, they don't have a full series. So there's so much opportunity there to provide an offer. Hey, I'll write a welcome email series for $1,000. Like, just straight up, like, you can have an immediate offer you can give somebody. That's like, if you could just master that series, you can then just like template it and do it for different brands. Number 3, know how to use email software. Learn the ins and outs. Learn Beehive or ConvertKit or Klaviyo. If you don't know, start your own newsletter and just start sending out emails. See how the stuff works. See how to work within the editor. Learn how to actually like do a subject line and a preview text. Learn how to split test subject lines, A/B tests. Learn how to like schedule the thing. Learn how to look at analytics and track your open rates and click rates. All those things. The more you know how to do like that, the more valuable you become in the marketplace as an email copywriter. If you enjoyed this, follow @StoryCopy for more and click subscribe. Thank you.